The Cyrus Allen hype train continues in St. Joe as he continues to make plays that impress a lot of people, not just locally, but nationally as well. Jaden Hicks continues to have a great week for the Kansas City Chiefs. Plus, the Chiefs had a very special guest today in St. Joe. We'll discuss all of that and more here on this video on the Chiefs Zone's YouTube channel. Appreciate all of you guys joining me for day 17, the second to last day in St. Joe for Chiefs training camp, the final day of Chiefs practice in St. Joe with the pads on. Tomorrow will be a different practice. It'll be a 10-10-10, a much shorter practice, and it will be without the pads. So we are starting to wind down here in St. Joe. Before we go any further, just want to give a big thank you. I know I do this at the beginning of every video. The views have been insane. The YouTube numbers have really gone up over the last couple of weeks during training camp. Had it not been for you guys, and also a couple of shout outs from Matty Dubs and Colderoos from How About Those Chiefs and several others, we would not have been able to grow. So definitely appreciate everyone that's shouted us out, and also those who have been telling their friends about the YouTube channel. That really helps us out a lot. We went from 1,000 subscribers, and I think we just surpassed 4,000. So really appreciate everyone who's been doing that. And when it comes to all of social media combined, we have more than 90 million views since training camp started. That is, I believe that is almost triple the amount than what we had from last year's training camp. So this does not happen without you guys. So thank you all so much. Real quickly, if you're new to this YouTube channel, you like what you see, please subscribe. All of you guys, I ask you for you guys to like it if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you guys comment and join the conversation below. And if you're new to any of my content, check me out on all of my other social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads. Wherever you are, we are likely there as well. The links to all of those are in the description below. All right, let's get right into it here, because it was a very busy day of Chiefs practice, and probably the last busy day, as like I said, tomorrow will likely be a very short practice with the 10-10-10. So we're not going to have, we'll still have some things to recap tomorrow, but not as much given the style of practice that it'll be. But this was important for the Chiefs to have a productive practice today, and it certainly was that. Now, we did have some good news to start off training camp, as Tyquan Thornton was suited up, making his way down the hill at the start of practice. Now, I will say he was limited, which is standard protocol for the Chiefs whenever someone's coming back from an injury, albeit Thornton's injury was not anything long-term. He just left practice early yesterday due to a hamstring. He participated in all of the individual drills, but he stayed out with the team drills. Did not take part in any of those. Trey Smith, on the other hand, continues to rehab, and this forced the Chiefs to continue moving around, shifting guys on the offensive line. Today's offensive line from left to right: Jalen Moore, Kingsley Suamataia, Creed Humphrey. At right guard, got a new guy there today. It was Hunter Norzad, who is the backup center for the Chiefs. He has some experience playing different positions on the offensive line. So he was the right guard today for the Chiefs in practice with the ones. And of course, Khalil Benson has been the right tackle all week long, and it looks like he's going to be the right tackle for the Chiefs when they visit the Buccaneers for their second preseason game. But hopefully Trey Smith returns soon, because the Chiefs really need him pretty soon. I mean, the makeshift offensive line certainly not ideal, though. As you saw in those clips there, Trey Smith, going against the pads there, the sled, I don't know exactly what they call that. So it seems like he might be on his way to coming back soon. I mean, if he's able to do that without the pads and helmet, I think he's in a spot where he should be coming back very, very soon. I told you guys earlier, my level of concern is rising a little bit. Now I'm at a good place. I'm no longer concerned. I think Trey Smith will be back sometime next week after the preseason game against the Bucs. But with that said, let's get right into it. And I know what all of you guys would love to discuss, and that would be Cyrus Allen. And as you guys have seen on social media, some of you have, I would imagine, Cyrus Allen and Mansour Delane, those two guys went at it in practice today. This competition has been a lot of fun to watch ever since Mansour Delane has been cleared to participate in all of the contact drills. And hey, let's get right into it here. Here's the first battle between Cyrus Allen and Mansour Delane. Allen tries to make a move here to throw off Delane, unable to secure the ball. Now, before we go any further, I do want to show something here. As you can see, Mansour Delane, and you'll notice this with the other defensive backs. I'll show a different clip later on with a different cornerback. But you notice Monster Delane has what appears to be boxing mitts, something that you see boxers, MMA fighters, they'll work with that with their coaches. Their coaches will put on those mitts. The purpose of this is for defensive backs to essentially eliminate holding. You obviously cannot hold with those. Now, sometimes these mitts do come off, and you'll see that on the next clip here. But this eliminates holding. It allows the defensive backs to primarily focus on just trying to swat a ball away and not allow their assigned receivers to pull in a reception here. So that's the purpose of that. But to go back to this here, you see Allen unable to secure the catch here. Monster Delane guarding him very closely. Now here's another clip, and look at this. Here's Cyrus Allen just going straight ahead here. And Monster Delane, all he can do is run as fast as he can to catch up with him. Allen secures the catch, and Monster Delane's trying to bring him down. Really good play here by Cyrus Allen, and this got a lot of people's attention, not just locally, but nationally as well. A lot of people are talking about this. Here's another clip. Here's Cyrus Allen working against Christian Fulton. Quick step, made it look very easy here. Just getting that separation. He said in an interview, press conference rather, one thing that irritates him is he does not like it when he's not open. So his pet peeve is not getting open. And this is what the Chiefs really needed last year. 100%. And here we are during 11-on-11 red zone drill here. Patrick Mahomes finding Allen for a red zone score. And his teammates are loving it. Kelce loves it. Rice loves it. Mahomes loves it. Everybody loves it. So here's my question. Where are we on this Cyrus Allen hype train? Because we saw him get off to this really hot start before the pads came on. Then he had the injury. And then he came back and, he wasn't necessarily making circus plays like he was a little earlier on in training camp, but people are impressed with what he's doing. His route running, his ability to get separation from defensive backs, being able to hold on to the football, which has been an issue for Kansas City for a couple of years now. People are in a really great place where they're just thrilled with Cyrus Allen and everything he's done in training camp. I mean, this is a guy who tied third in college football last year in touchdown receptions. And I want to point that out with the red zone score there that you guys saw. That's probably an area where Cyrus Allen will start to get used. Listen, I know a lot of people are throwing out the term wide receiver one. I think we got to slow down with that a little bit. I don't think Cyrus Allen will be wide receiver one to start off the season in Denver or against Denver, Monday Night Football. Could Cyrus Allen one day be wide receiver one? Maybe. Could it be the end of this season? I don't know if I would go that far. Could it be sometime in the future? As early as next year? Maybe. But what I do know is Cyrus Allen will be a part of your offense. He will get utilized. With everything we're seeing from Cyrus Allen in practice, I don't think the Chiefs are going to have him on the sidelines. I know people were concerned about that because of the usage of some of the players last year. Man, I don't think that's happening this year. I think the Chiefs know. Well, first off, I think the Chiefs have learned from their mistakes last year with personnel. The playing time with some of the guys, some of the decisions, such as letting Mike Pennell go for Derek Nottie. I thought that was a strange move by the Chiefs front office. They're usually much better than that. I just think this year they're recognizing where the talent is, and they know that they've got to use these guys to avoid and improve from a 6-11 season. Absolutely has to be the case. And listen, how much of Cyrus Allen will we see? Not just on offense. Will we see him on special teams? I know this is not preferred from some Chiefs fans. Look, he's a 5th round pick. So, unless this guy is Puka Nacua right off the bat, which is a valid comparison given that Puka Nacua was a late round pick and just absolutely thrived since his rookie season. Listen, Cyrus Allen, he's going to be used in some different areas. He'll be used on offense. He'll be used on the outside. I would imagine maybe even in the slot. A guy who practically runs a 4.5 40 might even see some time on special teams. How much time that I don't know. I can't say for sure. But Allen is someone that, don't dismiss the possibility of him possibly doing some punt return duty. That I think is on the table. There's a lot of hype with Cyrus Allen right now. And it's hard. Look, I have a difficult time buying into hype because of practice. Listen, remember several years ago on Hard Knocks when the Chiefs were on it in 2007? Who was the training camp darling, the hype guy? It was Bobby Scipio. And listen, I understand it's a reality television docu-series essentially, but with all the editing, they made it look like Bobby Scipio was the second coming of Jerry Rice if you watch that series. And listen, I get it. Hard Knocks, they've got a show to put together. They got to make it entertaining. They know that it's a show that features a lot of roster bubble guys. I'm not saying Allen is a roster bubble guy, but my whole thing is this with Cyrus Allen. Yes, we've seen all the hype. Why is this different? What makes this different? And I don't know that answer right now. Yes, he's made a lot of great plays in training camp. And by the way, he's been targeted a lot. In that preseason game, targeted 5 times, more than anyone else on the team. Now, he only had 2 receptions. Did have another good play on a screen pass that got called back because of the penalty on Jalen Royals. But listen, we saw some good things from him. What more can we get from Cyrus Allen? I'd like to see that in Saturday's game against Tampa Bay. We can discuss that more on the podcast tomorrow. But, the circus play, it just feels like he's doing a lot of the things in practice so far that the Chiefs wide receivers should have been doing last year. And listen, I think last year part of it is due to bad coaching with the offensive coordinator, the wide receivers coach. And listen, I know I've gone over this before, so I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but the Chiefs put out a video of their wide receivers coach, Chad O'Shea, mic'd up. I just didn't see that with Embry last year. The way Eric Bieniemy is getting after players, I never saw that from Nagy. There is a shift with the Chiefs offensive players, specifically at wide receiver. And I think a big part of that is because of Chad O'Shea and Eric Bieniemy. So I'm eager to see what it's going to look like. There's a lot of hype surrounding Cyrus Allen, and your hope is, hopefully, he is going to be an important part of your offense and does get involved. Because I think you've got a lot of talent with the wide receiver room. The pertinent thing is, everyone's got to stay healthy and hold on to the football. No drop. Listen, drops are going to happen, but consistently, that's not acceptable. And I think the hope is that we see that come to fruition this year for the Chiefs. All right, let's talk about another rookie we discussed yesterday. Let's do it again. Why not? Monster Delane had quite the busy day here. Some good, some bad here from Monster Delane. I mentioned earlier with Monster Delane how closely he was guarding Cyrus Allen. Look at this play against Nico Remigio. Backed off a little bit and loses this rep. And you can see in this one, he definitely was not happy losing to Nico Remigio. Certainly understandable. Remigio really not the greatest option. We kind of went over this before. Remigio just does a really good job of, he's guarded pretty closely, but moves away. You see those mitts come off. I mentioned earlier, you guys were going to see that. Just a situation where Delane just wasn't prepared for what direction he was going to go into, I guess. That's going to happen. Listen, you can be a lockdown corner and still allow a catch. You can be a lockdown corner and still allow a touchdown. That's going to happen. I think the idea is a shutdown corner will never, ever allow a score. Listen, I know with Delane, one reason the Chiefs traded up to get him is because of his ability to not allow big plays. He did not allow a touchdown last year in college football. It's got to be different in the NFL. But here's another one working against Rice. Now, this pass is overthrown, but watch Delane carefully here. You see Rice, the pass is thrown, it's high, but Delane's right there to swat it away if it was an accurate throw to Rashee Rice. So again, here he is doing a better job. I'll say this about Delane because I've seen some criticism on this. Delane is doing a better job of not being too close to receivers, because if you're too close, that's grounds for getting penalized. with holding, interference, depending on what the situation is. So I think what Delane did a better job of today is, not being too close to these receivers. And listen, I know every referee can be a little different. Some referees, they might see a little bit of contact, they'll let it go. Some referees are going to call it tight. They will be strict about these. And I don't like that about the NFL, the inconsistency on that, which is a whole nother topic. But listen, Monster Delane, let him make these mistakes. Rookies are going to go through these learning curves, especially playing cornerback. Playing cornerback is a very difficult position already. Going from college to the NFL, and I don't care if you're the first cornerback taken or if you're an undrafted cornerback, it's going to be a difficult adjustment nonetheless. And this is something that Monster Delane is going to learn early on in his time with the Chiefs, and he'll grow as things unfold in his rookie campaign. So I'm excited to see it. Now, let's focus on Delane again. Here's 11 on 11. Patrick Mahomes, I said 11 on 11. I meant 7 on 7. Here is Delane trying to stay close to Royals. He loses Royals for a bit, and Patrick Mahomes does a great job of finding Royals just at the point to where he knew that Delane was not going to have any chance of connecting or trying to prevent a connection here. And again, look at Delane. He is very closely following Royals here. What more could he have done? Maybe just be prepared for certain steps. Those things will happen again. This is part of being a rookie. This is part of learning here. This is why they're doing training camp. This is why they're doing 7 on 7s, 11 on 11s, 1-on-1s, all of those things here. So just something that, wanted to point that out there. And a great play by Royals. He was closely guarded here, so give credit to him on this play here. But those are things that we're going to see from Monster Delane as he gets ready to enter his rookie season with the Chiefs. Speaking of defensive backs, let's talk about Jaden Hicks. This dude had a great game on Saturday against the Rams. And on Monday's practice, Alohi Gilman got an interception where he undercut a throw to Noah Gray. But that was mainly due to Jaden Hicks blitzing, putting a hand up, and getting just a tip on the football. And that is more than enough to really change the complexion of that throw. And that allowed Alohi Gilman to come away with a big play here. Here's Jaden Hicks, a great heads-up play. It looks like Patrick Mahomes wants Travis Kelce. Kelce just not, I don't know. It's hard to say from that angle what happened with Kelce. But obviously the connection just was not there, and Jaden Hicks took advantage of that. That's what you're supposed to do. Yes. Is this more due to a great defensive play or more because of just a miscommunication? It's mainly due to a miscommunication, but that's what you're supposed to do if you're a defensive back. If you don't take advantage of it, somebody else will. And that's exactly what Jaden Hicks did. That's exactly what all the great defensive backs do. They see a miscommunication and they capitalize on that. So good on Jaden Hicks, who's having quite a week for himself. I know I brought this up on here. I know it's been talked about with local radio and even with the fan base. Jaden Hicks was having a really quiet couple of weeks in St. Joe. He certainly made his presence noticed in that Rams game, and even more so this week in practice. So Jaden Hicks having a really good week with the Chiefs, and I think he's trying to prove that this is a guy that belongs with the starting 11 on defense. Who are your starting safeties? I think the 3 guys you're really considering are Alohi Gilman, Christian Roland Wallace, Shamari Connor, and Jaden Hicks. Christian Roland Wallace, his season's going to be interesting. They're going to use him in some different areas in the secondary here. But I'd like to think Jaden Hicks and Alohi Gilman are your 2 best safeties that you're going to put out there with your starting 11 in week 1. Speaking of defense, let's go to George Karlaftis here. He's had a quiet training camp, but here he is working against Kingsley Suamataia, putting a hand up. This is something he's done a great job of his entire career. This is what he was really noted for early on his rookie season in 2022. Swatting passes, one of the best defensive linemen to do it the last few years, and here he is doing it in practice. This was the first rep of 11 versus 11, so pretty good George Karlaftis to do this here. And before we get to our final football play, I gotta show our special guest in St. Joe. Look who it is. Former NFL center, All-Pro, and Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles, Jason Kelce, was in the house I say in the house, but they're outdoors. But here he is having fun with the specialists here, talking to some other Chiefs staff members as well. Here he is after practice, talking to his brother, Travis, talking to Andy Reid, sharing a hug right there. Of course, Andy Reid's the one who drafted Jason Kelce in Philadelphia. That was Andy Reid's final draft with Philly. So Andy Reid, very familiar with the Kelce brothers. But take a look at this. In the red zone, Travis Kelce gets his pass here from Patrick Mahomes, bobbles it, holds on to it, secures it. Feeling pretty good about that play as well. But let's go back one last time. Take a look. Who's in the background watching that? Oh, Jason Kelce. He's got that face right there. He's pretty impressed with that play right there. So that was good to see. And Jason had some fun with the fans. He actually went over and signed a lot of autographs. Boy, Jason Kelce, I think, was the most popular person in St. Joe today at Missouri Western. So pretty cool to see Jason Kelce just rub elbows with some fans, take selfies, sign autographs. That was very cool to see. Now, before I get out of here, I have played some Eric Bieniemy audio for you guys in the past. I'm going to do it again, but it's not the Eric Bieniemy audio that I normally play for you guys. This one is a little different. I just want you to listen to this. Check it out.
Coach, call those plays the way we used to. Not over the last 2 years, before when you were here. Get back to that, man.
Oh boy. Listen, I can't even think with a straight face right now. Look, Eric Bieniemy could be laughing for a couple of reasons. I think it's no secret he's not the play caller. It's primarily been Andy Reid. But at the same time, I think Eric Bieniemy knows what the hell that fan is trying to say. I think he's saying Matt Nagy was a bad OC. Oh boy. That's listen, I mean, that's funny. It is. Now, coaches are never going to throw other coaches under the bus. Bieniemy and Nagy they've worked together for a very long time. Back when Nagy was the offensive coordinator in his first stint with the Chiefs, Bieniemy was the running backs coach still at the time. And then Nagy went on to Chicago. Bieniemy took over for 5 years. And during that span, Nagy won Coach of the Year, but got fired, came back, and was the quarterback's coach while Bieniemy was still the OC. Then Bieniemy moved on, tried to grow and flourish elsewhere because he was not getting head coaching opportunities. I guess he had to prove himself away from Mahomes, Reid, and Kelce. Unfortunately, he went to spots that weren't really the most conducive, but he was willing to accept any job to try to prove himself. But he finds his way back to Kansas City after a really good year in Chicago as the running backs coach. And listen, there's a reason why the Chiefs fired him back. Listen, that fan speaks for a lot of people when he says, hey, let's not do it like it was the last couple of years. He's right. I mean, the Chiefs offense has, while they did appear in 2 Super Bowls under Nagy's second stint as OC, listen, I can cut Nagy slack for 2024. A lot of injuries occurred that year. You were without your top 2 wide receivers. Other wide receivers got injured. Your top 2 running backs were unavailable. Pacheco got hurt very early in 2024. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was unavailable for a lot of the time. Not that Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a big difference maker at the running back's position, but when Pacheco's out, it's like, man, I mean, they went and got Kareem Hunt, who was training at, I believe, his old high school. They went and traded for DeAndre Hopkins, who, a phenomenal wide receiver and a future Hall of Famer, but someone who's not necessarily built for this style of offense. The Chiefs were just trying to get him in because they needed some help in their receiving game. Xavier Worthy was thrust into a role he was not really prepared for. So I can cut Nagy slack for 2024, but man, in general, that fan's right. I mean, the offensive scheme was bad. Yes, we know who the play caller is. It's Andy Reid. But the offensive coordinator still has a role here. And I've showed you guys this before, and I'll show it again. It's not a coincidence that the last 3 years, the Chiefs' offense has declined and Patrick Mahomes' numbers have dipped without Eric Bieniemy. I think it was, I apologize, I don't remember who said this. I'll put it on the screen here. I'll look it up while I'm editing this video. But Eric Bieniemy sure, things didn't work out in Washington. Now, it's not his fault. I mean, Ron Rivera got fired. You look at UCLA. Okay, well, things didn't work there either, but it wasn't all on him. The offense was actually worse the year after Eric Bieniemy was let go. Deshaun Foster ended up getting fired. And the person who said this at the beginning of the offseason, before Bieniemy officially came back, Eric Bieniemy might not have succeeded outside of KC, but when he was in Kansas City, he was somebody. Because this Chiefs team was top 6 in total offense and points scored. Explain to me why the Chiefs offense declined the last 3 years. And don't tell me it's because of Tyreek Hill's departure. Tyreek Hill was not on the team in 2022, and the Chiefs had the number 1 offense in points scored and yardage, and Mahomes almost unanimously won MVP. That was Bieniemy's final season with the Chiefs in his previous stint. So, look, Bieniemy is someone that knows how to make this offense work. Look, who was the quarterback in Washington? Was it Sam Howell? Are we really going to hold? Are we going to hold it against Eric Bieniemy that he didn't succeed with Sam Howell as his quarterback? I mean, look at UCLA. Can anyone tell me any good players from the UCLA offense? Look, I don't follow college football closely, but UCLA's record was even worse. Their ranking in total offense was worse after they let Eric Bieniemy go. So Washington and UCLA were not Eric Bieniemy problems. They had far other problems to the point where those head coaches there got fired. Rivera and Foster, excuse me. So I'm glad Eric Bieniemy's back. And a lot of the fan base feels that way as well. I know in the very beginning, people weren't quite sure about Bieniemy coming back, but ever since the tone changed with him back at training camp, it just felt like anyone that was pushing back on Eric Bieniemy's return back in January, they don't seem to be doing that anymore. And there's a reason for that. Travis Kelce said it today. I mean, don't take my word for it. Take it from Travis Kelce, your star tight end, who said the accountability was missing last year. Look, I think that's the kindest and most professional way of saying we did not have a good offensive coordinator last year. We did not have a good wide receivers coach. We did not have a good coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball for the most part. That's what Travis Kelce essentially is telling you. And now here we are in a place where Bieniemy is a very important part of your football team. So I'm excited to see how that goes. First of all, thank you all once again for all of the interactions, all of the views on here. If you're new and you enjoyed this, please make sure you subscribe. Real quickly, tomorrow we'll do our final training camp recap video, but we're not done with this YouTube channel. We're still going to be doing all kinds of things, reacting, podcast interviews, all kinds of things that you will see on this YouTube channel. And I hope you guys continue to watch and follow because we're far from done. We're just going to continue doing these things. Just won't be able to go to practice and film, of course. I'm not credentialed media. And to be honest, I would prefer not to be. And that's a topic for a whole nother time. But nonetheless, tomorrow will be the final training camp recap. It's going to be a 10-10-10, so it's going to be a very short practice. There's not a lot of stock we can put into 10-10-10 practices. They're not padded. There's a focus on offense and then defense and then special teams. So there isn't too much to really go off of, but we'll still have some things to react to and share for tomorrow's video. With that said, my name is Farzin. Thank you all for watching this video and appreciate the support throughout training camp. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.